Application cross repeater widget is one of the most powerful in the whole system. Let's take a look at one running here. You can see things resizing here, and it's actually pulling information out of a database, but it could be pulling them from an AJAX, an API call, and it's displaying them those in a repeatable area. In this case it's repeating horizontally and then vertically. Let's take a look at something else. Got a little tutorial one running here. Put that into preview mode. Here you can see something running which is just showing vertically, again pulling information from anywhere. So let's take a look and see how these things are set up. So we'll go back to here, this Stanley application, and if we select that, we'll click on the outline. That helps us see the structure of the page better. Here you can see we've got the outline container here. Switch that off again. And inside it you've got the actual inner container, and this inner container is the thing that repeats. Let's go back to the tutorial app. This is slightly clearer to look at on screen. So here is the main repeater container, and here is the inner container. And we can drag this as we want. You can also set all sorts of cosmetic properties, things like alternate row colors, lines dividing the rows, lots of things to control there. The repeater also comes with some pretty nice features for sort of minimizing the amount of code you have to write. Let's put it into preview again. Here we can see we've got options to remove a line. I can insert a row. This is just doing very basic stuff. It's inserting a row with hammer. I can modify quantities. Let's have 2 of these and 4 of these, and you can see it's doing totals. All of these things are done, as I'll show you in a moment, with simple support functions. I can do a search and remove. This is going to search for words inside our repeater, and it's at the same time going to remove them. So let's say I type in hammer. You can see it's removed the hammers. So let's go and see how that was done. So the first thing is, if we switch across with Command D, Control D into code mode, we'll be able to see first of all how we populate that widget. In this case we're just actually generating an array of dummy data, a map object, and then populate widget. One of the next Learning Center videos actually explains this in much more detail, so I'm not going to dwell on that now. Let's look at, for instance, how we remove a row. So click on the Remove button. We go to the Events tab. There's a just click event, and here we can see the remove. So here you can see we've got app w repeat order. That's addressing the repeater widget, and then there's this method delete row. So it's saying to delete row, and which row? Well, this widget's parent's row index. Again, look up in the help in the user guide how these functions actually work. Then we've got things like calculations. Well, we've got, I presume here, a lost focus event, and here you can see we're just doing a row calculation. So we're setting the value of the total widget to be the price times the value. And then also we're doing here the calculate grand total, and here's calculate grand total. So rather than actually having to cycle through all of the rows, what we're actually doing is using the sum method on the repeater. And here we've got the search and remove. That's also triggered by a lost focus. And here you can see that the repeater widget also has a search method. So we're searching for the value that's contained within this current widget that's been triggered, and then I'm actually cycling through and deleting any rows that come back in the array that is returned. So that should give a good idea of how the repeater works. You can see that you can also include images, not just text, and you're totally free in the way that these things format horizontally, vertically. So please refer to the user guide. Thanks.